Good morning, everybody. Keith Engle here for TGI Sports Talks Sunday stream of consciousness. It's great to have you all with us today. I appreciate everybody tuning in. We're changed our start time now to 9 o'clock on Sundays, as we've agreed to spend an extra half hour with the boys over at the Big Football Show on National Streaming Sports, which I just had to jump off on. And for you, those of you that were watching it, I apologize because I do have to stop the stream. I used to be able to stream them simultaneously, and I really apologize for having to change that. Maybe I'll give it a shot again in a couple of weeks to see if it works. But for years, I streamed them simultaneously, that show, and when I jumped off and started my show. But Facebook and its extreme wisdom does not allow that anymore, apparently. A little more light here, don't we? What's going on here? All right. So how's everybody doing today? Good to have you with us. Welcome everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Where else are you guys on? All the groups that allow me to share this later, you'll see them all scrolling, or not all of them. Our favorites, anyway, are this week's favorites. Actually, our all-time favorites. John Gonzalez at the Sports Authority. Greg Rawlings at baseball. America's Pastime, the love for baseball. Flo and the gang at Bottom Line Sports. Let's Talk Sports, Tanner D and his crew. Great podcast over there, just like we have here and around the National Streaming Sports Network. Ken Krause at Golf Bud Sports of All Sorts. Check that stuff all out. Still got music going, don't I? Sorry about that. What else? Quick shout out to Ralph Williams at RW Media. Ralph does some great stuff out of Ocean City now, Ocean City, Maryland. I don't have enough light on. Well, I forgot one of my backlights. That's why we had a little problem with the backlighting. I apologize, peeps. Ralph Williams does RW Media, as I said. His flagship is the Sports Corner with Smoking Jim Frazier every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. I've guested on that show many times, just a couple of weeks ago, in fact. Tomorrow morning, check us out on Jack and Keith's Weekend Playbook. Jack Hirsch and I will be joined tomorrow by James J. Train Martin. We'll talk about some of the things that we talk about here today and did on the Big Football Show. We'll dive more into the college weekend. We'll review Jack and my picks. So far, they are not doing all that well. and no, we're not doing terrible, I guess. We'll get into the NFL a little bit, pick the Eagles and Cowboys. We'll talk about a lot of stuff. But today's your show, guys. Lots of stuff to talk about. Let me give you a little rundown here quickly as you guys come in, and I'll get to your comments in just a second. Big football Saturday yesterday. Actually, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for college football. Florida State shocks Alabama. We'll talk a lot about that. Florida State tried to give this game away, and Alabama's not good enough to take advantage. LSU finally wins an opener under Coach Kelly. Good defense, or is it just early season lack of offense? I'm not sure. Arch Manning struggles. Listen, let's not jump to so many conclusions. I already read an article yesterday. How does today's game affect Arch Manning's draft status? Shut up. Jesus, good God, man. Come on. His first run at the big stage, man. I guarantee Arch Manning will be fine. Although I have some things to pick apart about Arch Manning. K-State nearly gets upset by North Dakota State. I saw some comments on our own chat yesterday that K-State would be, I don't know if embarrassed is the right word. Listen, somebody loses to FCS teams all the time. This doesn't affect K-State's ability to win the Big 12. Last week's game does. They have a loss in the Big 12. But these Dakota teams are really good a lot of years. I really thought Iowa State would struggle yesterday, and they actually blew out South Dakota State. So Syracuse stinks it up. The rest of the top 25 are all blowouts, as we thought they might be. But we'll get into some of the other games as well. South Florida with a big win over Boise State, which we talked about on the college football huddle. Nebraska, my dark horse, I picked them not to win the national championship. I bet them to make the playoff, and I bet them to win the Big Ten. Future bets. So we'll see. Jeremiah, and again, I decided to take it out there. Army loses a tough one to Tarleton State. They're not as good this year. Navy wins. Navy's much better this year. UNLV gets their second win under Dan Mullen, some other stuff there. Yankees win their seventh in a row. Just 2 games out of first place and shutting me up, apparently. Jack did make a point. They tried to win with small ball, and that's why you don't play small ball. Hello. Just trying to do it isn't enough. You have to be actually good at it. God. We'll talk about that tomorrow morning, I'm sure, and today. The Indians have won 4 in a row. What else? We could talk about Schwarber's great 4 home run game the other night. Very rare, more rare than a perfect game, pointed out. I think Danny Fuller pointed that out. I think it's a rarest feat in baseball, other than the Yankees actually successfully playing small ball. NFL, we can talk some of the cuts. Adam Thielen does go back to the Vikings. Takes a $2 million pay cut to do so. The Michael Parsons trade, huge news, obviously, in the NFL. Calvin Ridley talks about his suspension for gambling, making a better person. And we can get into some of the other cuts and practice squad signings, anything that excites you guys. And then Coco Gauff wins yesterday at the Open. Some upsets at the U.S. Open. If you're a tennis fan, we get into a little bit of that. It's your show, though, guys, so take it away. And just a quick note, we are going to be at 9 a.m. now from now on, so I can do the show with the guys for an hour. We'll go to 11 today. Next week when the NFL starts, it's a little tougher for me. Week 1, we may end after at 10:30 next week, or quarter to 12, 10:30 or quarter to 11. We'll see how it goes. We can't go long if we do go to 11. I can tell you that. And then I'll judge if the place we go to watch football, they're having a new Sunday brunch, and God bless them. I'm glad you're doing it. They do a great job. If I'm going to just be walking into a place, I got to fight for a place to get to, then I'm not going to rush up there like I normally do. So, we'll play that by ear. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking so much about that. And one more thing. Friday was official. This countdown clock is now at 0000. Friday was the last day. Been a weird feeling. It's weird at 5:01 when all my stuff was turned off. I go on my phone. I was awful at work. Always checking voicemail or checking email and Teams messages. And well, guess what? I can't get into any of that stuff now. So it's over. Who's with us? Hello, Michael. Good morning. Good to have you with us. Happy first Sunday of retirement. Thank you so much, Michael. It's funny. I won't feel it for a couple of weeks, I don't think. It's going to feel like vacation a little bit. But even the vacations I took this summer, I tried to get myself into this is what it'll be like. This is what it'll be like. Took some naps. And there's a weight lifted off me, I can tell you, though. It has been the last couple of weeks as I've been kind of winding down. People have been... you're naturally you're not the go-to person for a lot of things that you were, and things get quieter. So transition continues by 2 minutes. What's that mean? Extra half hour totally changes my Sunday. Sorry about that, Drew, but I have to make the decisions based on what's good for me and the things that I want to do with the people that I collaborate with. So I apologize for any inconvenience here, but not much I can do. I don't know what the transition issue means. I mean, the transition from, again, we might start at 9:01. Part of that is me. I'm trying to make sure that the show is starting on Facebook, because right now I have to end my streams, which takes a second because of the delay. And I got this weird thing where I've got to unconnect my Facebook page and then reconnect it. So I'm waiting to see if it goes live before I see if I have to go into a different place and share it to my own page. So call Facebook and complain to them. That's all I can tell you. But I apologize anyway for any changes. But there's going to be some changes, guys. I'm retired now. I'm making some changes to some of the times. I was asked by my colleagues to make this change. And I enjoy collaborating with them. This is my favorite show of the year. If you remember, the first 4 years of the show, I did it at 9 a.m. And ran right out the door at 11. So it affects me as well. And but again, I enjoy my collaboration with my cohorts, and that's why I'm doing that. So no offense. Just is what it is. Good morning again. Oh, at first, never mind. John, good morning to you. Good to have you with John Gonzalez. John Gonzalez from the Sports Authorities, as I talk about all the time. The best admin out there. The best group out there. John Gonzalez is the man. I won't steal Danny's line. I'll let him post it and put it up himself. John, I couldn't figure out the LIU thing yesterday for the longest time that you put up their logo. Then I remembered they were playing. Who did they play yesterday? Yeah, they got blowed out. So, good morning, Chris F. Grave. How are you? good old friend of the show, Dave Portnoy. What a blowhard. By the way, he still can't beat Michigan. Ohio State, yeah, nice game. And he's right. They've won 4 in a row. Portnoy creates his own freaking drama at this thing because Ohio State had said Fox, and he's working for Fox now on their pregame show, but he's not part of the main panel. I also want to get into Lee Corso, by the way. Now I'm giving Fox a shout out. But Portnoy is banned. He says he's banned from the Horseshoe. He's not banned. He couldn't go in as part of the Fox main crew. He was going to work outside anyway. He made this a big story that didn't need to be made. That's Portnoy the blowhard. And by the way, quick shout out to Fox and ESPN. ESPN, if you're a game day fan and you're a Lee Corso fan like I am, 38 years I've been watching the show. It's been a big part of my life. That's more than half my life. That's almost a third of my life. I've spent watching game day and Lee Corso every Saturday morning. And they did a great send-off for Coach Corso yesterday. I thought classy. Sadly, you can see the difference in him just from last year to this year. But he had his moments yesterday. There was no doubt he was going to pick Brutus Buckeye with his last pick. But they moved that segment inside the Horseshoe. And Fox, to their credit, aired that as well, that last segment, as well as ESPN. Good for you, Fox, and getting the big picture. Good job. And happy trails, Coach. I hope you hang with us for a long, long time. 90 years old, and he'll be missed. Saturday mornings won't be the same. Stop. I'm going to tell John. And John and I have sparred lately. I don't know why. Arch Manning is now. Please, why are we comparing Arch Manning? Why am I reading articles about Arch Manning's draft stock dropping after one game? His first game against a top-notch opponent. His first game under the spotlight. He struggled. That Ohio State defense is really good. He didn't play that well. I don't like his mechanics. I think his mechanics broke down yesterday under duress. But I will tell you something. I think part of the problem yesterday was Steve Scarcesian's call playing, really, I think, reining in Arch Manning, not letting him do what he does. Arch Manning is not Peyton. He's not Eli as a player. You know who he is? And I'm not saying talent-wise. What he's good at. He's his grandfather. He improvises. He runs. He didn't let him do any of that yesterday. A little bit here and there, but mostly, no designed rollouts. And again, I think it was by design. This game, in the grand scheme of things, means nothing. It's a glorified exhibition game. It's great for us fans, right? We want to see Arch Manning in his debut. We want to see what Ohio State's got left after their national championship last year. What's it mean in the grand scheme of anything with the way college football is today with a 12-team playoff? Nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Now, do I think Arch Manning is going to be as good as the hype? I have no idea. Yesterday he wasn't. That's all that proves is he wasn't yesterday. I'm not going to – we do this too much. Not you, John. I'm talking in general. I like some of the articles I read about Arch Manning's a bust because he played one bad game against a really good defense and a really good team. Can we wait till, if this is this way a month from now, well, then I'll agree with you. For right now, I'm saying Arch Manning still will be the real deal. And Steve Scarcini, they didn't want to show a lot yesterday. That was a very, Brian used the term on the big football show, very vanilla offense. And congratulations to Matt Patricia, by the way, the new defensive coordinator for Ohio State, if you didn't know that. Good morning. All the other things, with all the other fun things yesterday, college game day. How about oh, yes. That kid, it was 50,000. And as McAfee is wont to do, he bumped it up to 250 because I love the way this has become one of my favorite segments, right, on game day. The kid just drilled it too, and I'd love to watch Kirk's responses to these things. He tackles the kid basically. The whole segment was great. Pete, Kirk's new dog, Pete. You remember the story? Sadly, Ben passed away last year. Pete took a little dump right there in front of the kicking situation. It was awesome, Rick. It was absolutely awesome for sure. Manning looked awful, dropping back, throwing low and high. His mechanics were awful yesterday. He looked like a guy playing his first game under the big lights. We can pitch on Arch Manning. We can talk about Klubnik the same way. I mean, did Nussmeier played badly yesterday? Everybody's all excited about Castellanos at Florida State. He played. He's an exciting player, but he's very, very up and down, and very inconsistent. Florida State did everything they could to give that game away yesterday, and I'll tell you, Mike Norvell. I'll get to Mike Norvell in a second, but Manning looked awful. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying that this is the end of the world for Arch Manning, though. His mechanics were not good. I saw him throw off his back foot a little bit, what causes a lot of those high throws and whatnot. He had a play, if you remember, on the last drive where they could have tied the game. He had a guy in the flat wide open. And the kid, first of all, the kid should have caught the ball. It was not well thrown. He threw it on his back. He's going this way. Hit him in the back shoulder. If he hits that kid in stride, that kid's running for about 40 yards. And Texas is in business on that last drive. Not a good play. Not a good play at all. But I am not going to write off Arch Manning's career here. Again, this is why Arch Manning may need 2 years at Texas. You know? There's a lot of guys who became great college quarterbacks who probably stunk it up in their first game against one of the best teams. Probably the team will be number one next week, Ohio State. But these preseason polls are ridiculous, right? What's your got? Yankees' longest winning streak, 7. Rangers and Pirates both 8-2. Listen, the Rangers, has anybody been more up and down than the Rangers this year? 4 in a row now they won, and they're 2.5 out of the wild card. I don't know. The Reds, yeah, I think the Reds are done. I thought they might make a run, but not so much. Tigers have righted the ship good, I think, as we head into the last month of the season starting tomorrow. Who else did I write down here? Blue Jays are kind of leveling off a little bit. You know, Jack tried again. Jack knows how I feel about the Yankees and not playing fundamental baseball and not trying to play small ball. Well, in the 10th inning the other day, they did win the game, but they got the Austin Wells, I think, was on second base. Volpe's up, and they had him bunt him to third, which I say nobody ever does. Well, what are you going to do? Because Volpe's had like one hit, you know, since August 1st. I exaggerate. So they do the right thing and they bunt them over and it doesn't work. Well, so they didn't. There's a difference between me saying you don't play fundamental baseball and then when you do it, you do it badly. Jesus, God. We'll get into this tomorrow, too. We ought to be pretty tomorrow at 8 a.m. We'll have James on with us tomorrow, co-hosting with us. He's got the day off and wanted to come on, and I love having James on. Love doing the show with Jack, too, by the way. I think we're starting to get a good, you know, Jack likes to go on and on and on and on and on. And then, you know, I can usually overcome his argument with about 3 words. Chris says Trevor Bauer hasn't pitched Major League Baseball in 4 years, and he's now 35 years old. There's a reason he hasn't pitched in 4 years, and it's not about talent. I know sometimes we talk about these guys, Chris, and I say, well, look at the leagues they're pitching in and we're playing in. Nobody ever doubted Trevor Bauer's talent. He was really good. He was a great pitcher. He's also, a horrible human being who nobody wants in their clubhouse. Character does matter to some teams, not to everybody, but character should matter, especially when we're talking about a character like this guy. What do you got for me, John? About ready to start yelling at me? I love John. John did send me a voice message the other day so I could hear his New York accent again. I don't know why, John. I just didn't expect that. And it wasn't as bad bad. I'm sorry, I didn't mean bad. I don't mean bad as in it's bad. It wasn't as pronounced. I noticed the New York accent. I know you're a New York guy. I don't know what I expected, though, right? My brother-in-law sounds just like that. And I don't know. Oh, gosh. But it didn't sound as pronounced this time. Anyway, I digress. This is what happens when you paid millions to sit on the bench for 3 years. It was 2 years. He has no game time experience. He had about 100 passes last year, which isn't nothing on a team vying for a national championship. But I don't remember seeing Arch in a lot of advertisements. I could be wrong. Than actually playing football on the field. I don't disagree with a lot of that. But here's what you want to remember. They knew all this when they went there. They knew he would sit 2 years behind, most likely sit 2 years behind Quinn Ewers, unless Quinn left early, which he did not, or transfer. This is all well documented. They factored that into the decision. He could have gone to Ole Miss and played right away. Could have gone a lot of places and played right away. I don't disagree. I mean, yeah, this is what happens. You wait, and now you play one game and you play badly. If you think Arch Manning is going to play like that all year, I think you're wrong. I could be wrong because, as I said, I sit here and freely admit week after week when I make a mistake. Made a couple yesterday. Where's my notes yesterday, Ben? Who I took it and with Jack. Here it is. Yesterday I took Clemson. Oh, that was Jack. Clemson. Well, Jack took Florida State. God bless him in that Alabama game. So he's 1-1 right now. And Keith had Tennessee, which he wins on. Texas, which he loses on. And Utah State. So I'm 2-1. My weekend's over with Jack. We'll look at the college football standings as well for those of you that got in. There are some guys I don't know who they are because they got generic ESPNs. I know James was one of them. He was going to change it, and I'll remind him. I can't differentiate who you guys are. So a lot of this is right, John. I'm not necessarily arguing. I'm just saying I'm not going to judge this guy after one game, right? I'm in my article about zero now. Congratulations, brother. The HOA did not find me. Good question, Billy. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, my personal page, or friends on my personal page, you'll saw that some of my teammates, two women I work with that are out of Atlanta, had a company come up and put happy retirement, huge letters on my front lawn. And we had just had this big rigmarole about no signs on lawns, because, why it's a big deal, I guess I don't get, right? So anyway, I want to make sure that I didn't get, Karen'd or something, and somebody put something up about what the hell's going on over there at 10A McCown. And so I put a picture with it and said, please, everybody just relax. A couple of my colleagues did this. It will be down. They come and take it down 24 hours. And actually what it did was I got a nice outpouring from the community here. our HOA community of retirement congratulations for about 50 or some people. So thank you so much for those people that did that. They're probably not watching this. Some of them could be. Some of them I've friended. But thanks so much for those congratulations. But no, I didn't get a fine. I got out in front of it. I told my wife, I said, I guarantee if I don't post something, one person is going to get like, what the hell? And to those of you that responded, I'm sure that you would not have been those people. And thank you. John, his mechanics, I will not disagree, were not good yesterday. Sometimes mechanics, and again, that takes time. It comes from playing, right? I think when he got under duress, his mechanics fell apart. But I don't know. I mean, you remember his granddad, his mechanics weren't awful or great. He was one of the best college quarterbacks ever, in my mind. So, yeah, they fell apart. He throws the ball sideways. I saw when you say sideways, I think you mean sidearm, right? And I don't like that. I saw a lot of sidearm passes. Some of that was to get around the pass rush, quite frankly, but not always, right? I think that play I'm talking about, he kind of sidearmed it a little bit. Look, I think it was a pressure-packed situation for him, and I don't think he responded well. I'm not going to excuse away the fact that he played badly. I'm only going to tell you that I would not say he's a bust based off this game. I was disappointed as well. Listen, I've been anticipating him playing for a long time, like everybody else. I thought Texas would win this game, and listen, everybody talked about Texas being loaded. That's the problem with preseason polls, and there's really nothing for us to go on other than spring games, right? Against yourselves. I think they ought to allow a little bit more of the inter-team scrimmages, right? The NCAA has been shooting that down. For instance, Syracuse was going to go out and scrimmage with Colorado for a few days, and the NCAA shot it down. I think that would help. We don't know what we're going to get. I'm not calling him a freshman. By the way, 21 years old is young when you're 65, I will say. And your brain doesn't even, you don't fully develop maturity until you're 65, apparently. No, I heard 27 is what my wife told me, but or maybe it was older. And she's much smarter than I am. Yeah, I can't call him a freshman. No, he did play. I mean, he had some game action, a decent amount for a kid backing up the main quarterback, a very good quarterback on a team fighting for an SEC championship and a national championship. So, yeah, disappointing day for Arch. I mean, again, you'll see a lot of disappointing games for other great quarterbacks. Cam Ward had some disappointing games yesterday. He won the Heisman, or last year. I didn't win the Heisman. Sorry. He was a Heisman finalist and the number one pick in the draft. He had some shitty games, excuse my French, as well. But you're not wrong, John. I mean, not a good performance. I have no way to say, oh, it's better than you thought. No, it was ugly. And it was better in the second half. Michael's great for the show and how you do this for us. I do it for me, really, quite frankly. No, I'm just kidding. For true sports fan to have this platform to share, bless me. Thank you. I was kidding about the half hour. If I need to leave early, so be it. If I need to leave early, so be it. I know you're kidding. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Kidding or not, it doesn't matter. I do what I have to do. I'm still looking for some input on a better day and time. I like Friday, actually, for the MLB update. But I'm trying to move it off that 3 p.m. because I really don't want to be locked into that time frame. If I want to play golf, I want to do whatever. So I'm thinking about moving it to Friday morning, but I'm going to wait a couple weeks into retirement and see what I need to do. I'm not going to make any rash decisions there. Good morning to you. Matt is early. Well, maybe not early because I'm late. Keith needs extra time. Take care of these new duties at the Joe Namath Museum. John Gonzalez, this is why I love you, man. Because you know me. I think anybody who knows me. Funny's always funny. I don't care if you're busting my balls. I don't care if it's inappropriate. I just don't care. Funny is always funny. And John has gotten a lot of mileage out of my one throwaway Joe Namath comment. By the way, your Joe Namath got into the highlight reels for Lee Corso's last show yesterday when he and Lee were both in fur coats on the stage a number of years back. Connor Bernard can now sign for over the league minimum in the NHL. Curious to what the 21-year-old can command after his first two decent seasons. Well, all these leagues now, this is the thing too. The NHL, not so much, but I would think it'll come into play probably in the NHL, just like it has in the NBA and NFL. Some kids aren't going to come out early because they can make more money, or they're going to stay as long as they can in college because they can make more money sometimes than these league minimums for rookies, or maximums, if you will. So we'll be curious to see what he can command after, a couple of decent seasons in the league for sure. Much respect for Corso. A lot of people think he's a clown. Man knows football too, by the way. He hit like 66 or 67% of his mascot picks over the years. One year he went undefeated, like 14-0. But it was just fun. It was just part of I don't know, for me, part of Americana, if you will. Probably not everybody's cup of tea. I saw some nasty posts about him in some of the comments and some of the articles I was reading, but and get over it. They were all upset the last couple of years. Get him off there because of his problems with speaking at times. And again, you would see it come and go because, he had a stroke in 2009. I didn't realize I'd forgotten it was that far back. But he was and there's a great article in the Athletic this week, if you have the Athletic, about his relationship with Kirk Herbstreit and how Kirk took it upon himself to kind of look out for Coach Corso after his stroke and help him out on the set. And you've seen it. If you watch religiously like I do, you've seen those little moments where he's just put his hand on his hand or his shoulder, and when Coach might have been getting a little flustered, or even helped him finish a sentence to bail him out. Their relationship is one of the cool things that I'll miss on game day for sure. LIU got blown out by Florida. That's who it was, right? And again, they do get paid to get crushed. Albany, Albany went out to Iowa, didn't play horribly. They got beat 38-7, played good in the first half. I never feel bad. It comes up on these teams my shows all the time, John, about, they run up the score on these teams and they shouldn't even be on the field. Jack Hirsch asked today, because I don't think he knew. I'm trying to get Jack more involved in college for our shows on Mondays and Fridays, and he's doing that. He's getting himself educated, if you will. But these guys, I don't feel bad for the LIUs of the world. They get paid $200,000, $300,000, $500,000, some a lot more, to go and get their asses kicked. And the kids get to play on a bigger stage, and they would get to play. LIU, I think, is an FCS league school, John. But again, they pay, they get blown out, right? So be it. Hello, CA. Glad to have you with us. CA, tell me again. So you're commenting from where? You're on Facebook now. So I'm trying to get with again. I don't see Michael Gott again. now that I'm retired, I'm going to try to do a Teams thing and see if you want to get involved. You can send me your email. I'm going to set up a meeting to chat with him, video with him, and I want to see where the problems are and see if I can help. There's nothing on my end causing anybody's comments not to come through. I have checked and double checked. So I would hope we can figure this out. I think it's something to do with some others. I see Flo got a comment coming up from YouTube, so I do see stuff from YouTube. I don't know what the situation is. I see you're on Facebook now, CA. Are we friends on Facebook? Because I want to try to figure out where the issue is. And I guess let me know where you're commenting from now. And thinking of Flo, there's Flo. Almost home. Like 2 months, give or take 2 weeks. Good for you. Flo's been on active duty, parts unknown, around the globe. And again, we thank our good. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the next comment, Flo. We thank you for your service to this country and keeping us safe around the world and other people safe. And please be safe these next 2 months and get home and get back. I don't think you've been doing your show, have you? I got to check it. I've been busy and a lot of stuff going on. I plan on checking out more of the podcast now that I got some more time and more energy at the end of the days to see what's going on. So welcome back early. Keep us abreast of what's going on. And again, we appreciate your service more than we can say. Ronnie Manning. Unfair, my friend. Unfair. Rocky's on a pace to win 46. I know. One of the biggest disappointments and my disappointments, and Drew, I did see your comment at the end of the MLB update the other day. We didn't do a midseason recap, and it's probably just as well, but we'll do a postseason recap, you and I, and we'll see how we did. I've already lost my sheet again. I'll have to go back and watch the damn show just to put everything down. I got my college sheet here, and that'll get lost before this thing's out. Maybe we're not working and not having so much stuff. I hate stuff. I'm always throwing stuff away because I hate clutter in my work area. I'm like, this is work. This counts as my work area, I should say. But yeah, so Rockies, one of my biggest disappointments this year because they were on a pace for much of the first two-thirds of the season to lose 130 games. Bastards. What a mouth I got on me today. Saw you on the show you just left, and the Cowboys upset the Eagles. Well, we haven't got into that too. Micah Parsons trade. Listen, I think the Cowboys lose big time, early. Immediate impact is going to be more on the Cowboys, and it's going to help the Packers. I still pick the Packers last in the NFC North, and Jack and I will do NFL picks as well. We might do them tomorrow if we have time. But I didn't have time to do all mine. We didn't start till I guess 8:30, and Jack can't just make his picks and like the rest of us do in 30 seconds. I'm not sure. I think the Cowboys. Listen, the Cowboys might be better than people think. This hurts their defense. I don't care what you think, and I know, Flo, you're going to say Micah Parsons isn't that good, or maybe you're going to say that. I shouldn't assume I know what you're going to say. A lot of Cowboys are going to dismiss him as not very good. People who didn't think he should get an extension think he's not very good. I'm telling you, he's one of the top 5 defensive players in football. And he doesn't miss games. He's missed like 4 games in his whole career. I think I got that right. Marcus Stroman is still a free agent. There's a reason for that. So is Dallas. I won't say his name. So is Dallas, who was very quietly released from Omaha after pitching well. I think he asked for his release. Well, he's not going to sign anywhere else. If he doesn't sign today, if either one of them doesn't sign today, they're going to be ineligible for the postseason. And if he couldn't stick with the Yankees, I don't think Marcus Stroman, I don't think he's got a lot left, quite frankly. I'm not a big fan of his. I'm just not a big fan. I was never a big fan of Stroman. He had some really good years in the majors. He'll sign on probably with somebody because, again, pitching is so thin right now in Major League Baseball. But Dallas has been done for a long time. He's not coming back. Maybe he should come back and just be a left-handed relief specialist, pitch to one guy a game, which I guess you can't do anymore, by the way, because you got to pitch to three guys. Welcome to our newest member of the Sports Authorities group, Michael Denton Edwards. Michael is awesome, by the way. And John, if you don't mind, I was going to ask you and hadn't had a chance. Michael, I allow. It's my privilege to have Michael post his articles on TGI Sports Talk, and I wanted to talk to you about once I post them there. I want to share them to the sports authorities if you're okay with that, and Michael will be tagged and whatnot so that we give him a little more exposure. He's a really good writer, and I know that I had talked the same thing about Chris Fgrave at one point as well. So you guys feel free to share to my page and continue to put forth the great stuff, Michael. You're doing some really good writing there. I like it a lot. And whether I agree with all of it or not is irrelevant. As I told Michael in the beginning, let me go back. As I told Michael in the beginning, we talked about editing. I'm not going to edit. I'm okay with your First Amendment rights, man. You can speak what you want. If I disagree, just know that everything Michael writes is not necessarily the the opinion of the station. But so far, I've not been a lot I disagree with. Good stuff from Michael. I like it a lot. So anyway, John, if it's okay to share, I'd like to do that. Knowles put the ACC on notice. And listen, both big losers yesterday. Texas and Clemson aren't sweating openers. Doesn't matter. Neither one of those games matters. They weren't league games. Doesn't hurt. It's not going to hurt their playoff capabilities if they perform as they should the rest of the year. And if they get to the point where those games are the breaking point between making the playoff and not making the playoff, well, then they weren't good enough anyway. And they weren't as good as we think they are, or people think they are. I happen to think both these teams are very good. The Knowles, I still got to see more. Nice win. Gus Malzahn did a great job of play calling yesterday. I thought you saw all of his. That's what Gus Malzahn does. Since his days coaching high school in Arkansas. But this team still has got some flaws, man. If you watch the game, they tried to give this a game away with penalties, with muffed punts, just silly mistakes in the second half. A better team than Alabama, or a team playing better than Alabama did yesterday, might very well have taken advantage of these things. So Arch will be fine. He's just playing against a tough. I agree. In his first big start, again, I'm very disappointed in the way he played. I bet Texas yesterday, so there you go. Arch does have some great hair. As you know, John, I don't spend a lot of time criticizing or remarking on people's hair, but as a guy with a good head of hair, John, I respect your opinion on Arch's hair. Hello again, Michael. And good morning to his tag team partner. Great job. Where's CA, by the way? I missed CA. Where's CA? Let me put CA's comment back up here. I didn't finish it, I don't think. Emma playoff shaping up. Yes, I think. Listen, I'm really disappointed in the fact that, like, it seems like every year we got a couple of decent division races shaping up that don't have the excitement level they should. The Yankees and Blue Jays, Astros and Mariners and maybe the Mariners, really. Dodgers and Padres especially. What's it mean? You don't get a bye. You don't get a home field in. Whatever. It's not win or go home. That's what I hate about all these wild cards, man. It should be exciting. And there's some interesting tennis going on at the U.S. Open. I know there's been some upsets. Coco Gauff wins yesterday. Been some weird confrontations at the handshake. And was it there that who's the guy that had the meltdown, smashing his tennis racket after the match? And there was a dispute over a fan had shouted during a serve, and I can't remember the guy's name. He's very volatile. But thank you. I put this back up here. Again, I'll put it back up, CA, because I want to thank you again for doing a great job putting together our league. I think we got a really good fantasy league of guys that are going to be in this room and accountable. I know Scott Kobe mixed up the starting time, and he was on auto draft for a while. Billy Pulver had trouble logging in for some reason, and he was on auto draft for much of it. He did get Drake May though, so congratulations. But CA, thank you for putting that all together. It's a great, very, very, very challenging league for bragging rights only. For you guys who stuck it out for the whole couple hours, it was a lot of fun. And it's challenging, man. It is brain racking trying to decide when to take defensive guys rather than a kicker or backups for your bench. Not happy with my draft, not totally unhappy, but it's really hard to tell until we get into the season. So great job, CA, doing that. I want to say thank you one more time. Danny's with us. Wild cards balance things out and keeps team. Does it? Yeah. I don't know. Why does there have to be all this? I don't know. I just don't have a response because I don't like it. I still have interest in the Yankees. If you give up on your team, listen, I'm tough on my team. Do I stop watching them because they stink? No. Would I stop watching them if they weren't in a division race and weren't going to have a wild card? No. I don't care about casual fans. I really don't. So if they lose interest because there's less wild cards and less teams in the playoffs, and it's not even much about fan interest. It is money into October and November. They want more games to show. And it just gives the team a less. Why are we playing a 162 game marathon when all a team has to do is get hot? Let them in the playoffs at, a few games over 500. And they can get hot and win them playoffs. If you win your division a few games over 500, then God bless you. Just don't know why we're, everybody's got their own thing. Well, they are sometimes, and that's what's exciting. That's why win or go home. I referred a couple times, Danny, to the I want to say it was a Giants and Dodgers actually back. Bobby Cox is still managing, Dusty Baker. So it was probably, I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s, where they were playing this last series of the season and went down to Sunday. And one of them won. I think the Dodgers won 101 and the Giants won 100 and they went home. Fair? No, but that's baseball. Wild card just dilutes the whole playoff experience for me. I don't care what sport we're talking about. Just me. Sorry, I missed out on the league. Yeah, Paul had to drop out late. He had a conflict. Paul will miss you, and again. Maybe we'll go to 18 teams next year if everybody wants to come back. It is very challenging with 16 teams. I love it. Padres deserve to be in the playoffs more than the Cubs or the Reds, in my opinion. Well, again, I don't even want to have Again, you have these. You're probably right. Although the Cubs are very good, Reds are not going to make it. I still just win your division. Can't we just go back to 2 divisions in each league? No, we can't. I know the answer. I'm just more of a purist, I guess, than most. I'm sorry, and no, actually, I'm not sorry. I don't apologize for who I am. We'll agree to disagree on a bunch of stuff when it comes to this stuff. When it comes to rule changes, when it comes to instant replay on every freaking play we involved in, and you want to extend college football games to like 4 hours. So just me. No cranky today. First 12-hour day of college football. Peyton's son is on the clock. I saw somebody posted that. Maybe it was on your site, John, saying Peyton's son is on the clock to be the next heir to the Manning dynasty. I don't know. How old is he? I think he's like 14 or something. That's the guy I'm thinking of, I think. Well, yeah, I'm going to say his name, right? He's a tennis player with a grudge against everybody, isn't he? He did the same thing at the Australian Open. He also got mad. I think it was during the same match. Maybe it wasn't the same match. He crushed his bracket after the match. But there was a play, and there was a serve. I think by his opponent, and somebody screamed and disrupted everything, and he got all bent out of shape. Whether it was first or second serve, and argued forever with the umpire. The main judge, whatever we call him. I think we call him the umpire. Not the biggest tennis fan in the world. I was a huge tennis fan at different points in my life, right? Connors and McEnroe and Borg and McEnroe. Huge tennis fan. And I'll be misogynist because I'm going to talk about guys mostly. But there's 6 Americans left, by the way, to be an ugly American for a second. There's still 6 Americans left in the U.S. Open. Pete Sampras, I was a big fan of. Agassi, I was a big fan of. So I guess I'm a nationalist as well. No, that's not true. Also a big fan of Rafael Nadal and his rivals with. Well, God, come on, help me out. That tells you how much I follow tennis these days. Roger Federer. Yeah. So Padres have a ton of talent. Ton of talent doesn't always equal wins, though, right? We've seen that a lot through the years. Oh, it's definitely about money and well, for sure. I mean, Kenny always said, and Kenny didn't. I'm going to give our picks. I'll give our. We still got games left, right? So, is there any sense of doing the college? I'll do the college recap on Wednesday night. I'll tell you who's leading so far, real quick. Beamer ball. Somebody, one of the ESPN generics. I got 3 of them now. We do have 13 teams in, I believe. Maybe it's more than that. 13, yeah. 13 in. Beamer ball, who I know is Neil Bush. One of the generic ESPNs. Boomer Sooner, which is Allen. All have 6 wins with still 2 games on the card, I believe. Maybe there's 3 games. No, 2 games, I think. One of the generic ESPN guys didn't get a pick in, and Kenny did not get a pick in. So it's going to be tough catching up. Starbucks plain large iced coffee, $4. What? That's cheap, isn't it? I thought if you didn't have a $10 bill, you weren't going to get anything at Starbucks. Was that meant for the Starbucks people, Paul? Danny Fuller, Sports Authority superstar, the Heisman winner of Sports Authorities Group. Wow, Danny, you are getting some high praise from the best admin of any group I've ever been associated with, John Gonzalez. The Heisman winner. I don't know. What if I compared Danny's performance today so far to Arch Manning's? That's the stupid thing. Danny's performance is always going to be better than Arch Manning. It doesn't matter how good Arch Manning is, Danny's will always be better. Interesting piece playing now on Otani's gambling probe. Anybody thinks he was gambling, I think it's crazy. Just my opinion, by the way. Speaking of gambling, though, Calvin Ridley said, "This is Calvin Ridley, isn't it?" Yeah, because I think it was Ridley paid for the Patriots. I know it's not him. He did comment that his experience in suspension for gambling made him a better person. So I guess there's something to it. Listen, I'm not a prude. We know that, right? I gamble. I will bet on games, and I'll win and I'll lose fairly. But no, the players can't be betting on their own sport or their own games. We got a huge viewership today, man. Great job. Whoever shared the show, extra places, thank you so much. Danny's getting kudos here. We never did get our trophy, did we? Gee, John Gonzalez, it's easy to support great things. There you go. Returning to the Sammy Maudlin show here. It's awesome. Cubs are really good. I think the Cubs will be dangerous in the playoffs. I just think it's a shame they don't need to win their division to do it. It's a good team. I know a lot of great Yankee teams didn't make playoffs because they didn't have wild cards. Well, very good Yankee teams. It can be. I didn't say it was a Puritan. The problem is, Michael, it's a good thing and a bad thing. I'm always going to do me, which is sometimes good, sometimes bad, unfortunately. But Puritan, I've never been called a Puritan, though. Let's stick with traditionalist or, I don't know, stick in the mud. Puritan sounds a little... No alcohol, no gambling, no anything. That's not what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. That's actually funny, actually. I won't ever apologize for who I am, and nobody needs to apologize for who I am, by the way. Although some feel the need. My wife carries that cross, bears that cross more than anybody. Padres better than the Mets or the Reds? Yeah, for sure. I think for sure. The Mets are going to make the playoffs probably. They're pitching. They're going to go out in the first round, I think, with that pitching. Although they've got a nice shot in the arm from a couple of kids. Tong yesterday. Who was the other kid? McLean, I think, has had a couple of decent starts. So, maybe you get a shot in the arm and it lifts you to higher things. But again, here's the thing. We start arguing about all we talk about is that maybe it's a good thing and maybe I'm totally wrong, right? Look, I'm sometimes wrong, but never in doubt. We talk about who's better. We talk about all these wild card teams in contention, which there's still a few. Where are we? It's starting to wind down. We had, in the American League, you still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams within 3 games. I can't count. That's 6 teams within 3 games of the wild card, of a wild card. And the Rays are 5.5 back, but I don't see the Rays as a threat, right? National League really is starting to look like, I'm not going to say it's over when there's 30 games to play. What do we have? 136. It's 26. Well, there's only 26 games to play. Is that right? 136, 26 games to play. 5-game lead is pretty significant. That's what the Mets have over the Reds right now. Reds, Diamondbacks, Cardinals. I don't think any of those teams have any shot or should have any shot. So the conversation becomes who's better. Well, the Reds stink, quite frankly. They should be better. That's a team with a lot of talent and can't get it together. So, you know who I got tonight. So bet Notre Dame. I'm all over the Hurricanes getting 3.5 at home. Let's see. How did I do? I was 0 for 2 betting yesterday. I only bet 2 games. I'll bet 2 tonight. That'll probably be it. I don't think I'll bet. I think I'm going to bet South Carolina. I may only bet 1 today. I may have one more bet this weekend. When we get to the NFL in the cigar box, I usually will find 3 college games, 3 pro games. And it's a little tougher when you got to go find 6 games you really like. Either way, right? When college is done, you got to do the same thing in the pros. I have a hard time finding 6 games I like anywhere. I do like South Carolina today. A lot. Very emotional return for Shane Beamer to his father's longtime school. But I think South Carolina is really good. And I like Miami tonight against Notre Dame. It's going to be interesting. You got another rookie quarterback or first-time quarterback that we don't know anything about, other than he's got a great arm. And C.J. Carr, Lloyd Carr, former Michigan coach, his grandson. And Beck, who, I mean, we still don't know how his arm is. He didn't participate in spring practice. He didn't participate the first couple weeks in the summer. They say he's 100%. Miami's season hinges on that right arm staying attached to the rest of his body. I would say he's more like Paul O'Neill than Gary Carter. You ever watch Paul O'Neill destroy a water cooler? I don't remember Carter, and maybe I'm wrong, Michael. I don't know. I don't remember Carter being quite that volatile. Paul O'Neill, 100%, man. Paul O'Neill would wreck the entire dugout when he came back. Canes tonight, absolutely. 7:30. What time's that game? 7:30, probably 8 o'clock start. I've got the Canes plus 3.5. I'd like to get 2 winners today and get even, well, without the VIG, even for the weekend. I never get off to a good start. I'm always digging out of the hole. Facts on Keith Engle. What'd I do? Oh, just be me? Can't help it, Danny. Personality flaw. Can't fake it. I've tried. I try to be somebody else, and the real me just takes over all the time. So any other personality, I have a lot of personality disorders, by the way. My word for me is quirky, to be kind. I think you missed a few comments by Chris. Did I? Oh, did I? How did I do that? I was jumping around a little bit because I was going back 32 minutes ago. Am I going to be able to find them? Oh, there we are. Oh, I did. Thank you so much. How did I miss all these? Somewhere I missed. I'll go back here. Oh my God, I missed a whole boatload of stuff here. I must have, but I'm guessing this again. User error is normally the answer. Missing this many is not something I normally do, so I apologize, guys. So let me go back here. Does Joe Flacco belong in any regional Hall of Fame? Sure. He should be in the Delaware Hall of Fame for sure. He's a great player. And Delaware, if I'm not mistaken, Delaware had their FBS 1 debut yesterday and beat Delaware State in their debut. Mets have a terrific farm system, tremendous young pitchers coming up. McLean, Tong, I talked about them already. McLean's been lights out. Tong was good yesterday. Nice shot in the arm. Nice energy boost for the Mets. Guys, I apologize for missing all these guys. Major League Bird Bait. I cannot imagine how I could have done that. I wonder if they're delayed coming in somehow. The comment section, just to be clear with you guys, comments on Facebook have been really screwy, or StreamYard. And I've checked all my StreamYard settings. I've checked all my Facebook settings, and nobody's blocked from putting anything up. But they come in. Some don't come in. These seem to have come in after the fact. I don't really know, unless I just skipped way ahead. How far back was this? 10:25. Sorry about this, guys. Birthdays. Matt Adams, former pitcher. Nicasio, whatever. I think he's a former pitcher too. Hensley. A lot of pitchers here. Ramon Santiago. Hideo Nomo. Von Hayes. What do they call him? I can't think of his nickname now. But Von Hayes, maybe they might have just called him 5-Tool. He got big trade. Came up with Cleveland, big trade to the Phillies, and Philly fans didn't ever fall in love with Von Hayes. I thought he was a very good ball player. Knuckleballer Tom Candiato, Claudel Washington. Looked like he was going to be a superstar when he came up. Was this very good Major League Baseball player. Ramon Hernandez. I feel like a catcher. Tracy Stallard. If I'm not mistaken, Tracy Stallard gave up Roger Maris's. If I got the right guy, 61st home run, or am I way off? Frank Robinson, we know. Ray Dandridge. Eddie Plank. All good players. Boots Day. There's a household name I remember. When you throw these up, I always said Boots Day with the Montreal Expos. I remember, at least with the expansion Expos early on. Boots Day was an outfielder, I want to say. So I got one. Cleo James, I want to say played with the Cubs. I could be wrong. Dad Clarkson, Hubs, Andres, and Buster Brown. I wore those shoes when I was a kid. I did make a mistake. We all make mistakes. No way. I make mistakes all the time, man. The UCLA Godfather. How did I miss all these? We saw the eyewear commercial with his dad, a good spot. I just don't remember any of these ads. These are good mornings. Blah, blah. Two great things about Delta. Delta Airlines? What's that? Flacco could be in only 5 local Hall of Fames, Chris. I believe it or not, thought it might be 32. I have no idea. I don't track a lot of local Hall of Fames. If I have somebody on who's I'm interviewing, I might know who they were Hall of Fames they were in. Here are a few of the wild card names of players who have passed through the Blue Jays farm system. Deion Sanders, Matt Clement, who's playing, I think. Oh, no, that's a pitcher, Matt Clement. Desi Relaford, Lee Stevens, first base, Wes Chamberlain, outfield. Nobody really made it big out of that group. Matt Clement was okay for a while. Delta's airport hub is Atlanta. Oh, Atlanta. Leaving or getting the 2 rental car out of the urban sprawl. Man, I tell you, Atlanta is like the craziest airport ever. It's like the second, if I'm not mistaken, Atlanta's like the second busiest airport in the world. Yes, I know lots of French. Instead of French, I'd like to call subpar. Thank you, Flo. I'm trying to clean up my foul mouth because my granddaughter, who made an appearance on the MLB update the other day, thank you very much. My granddaughter does repeat basically everything she hears, so have to stop. Although I can blame it on her father. Yanks fighting, a few games out. They're coming back, 7 in a row again. I have my doubts. I hate to be that guy, but I have my doubts just because of the way his team's put together. If they hit home runs and they pitch well, they'll win in the playoffs. John Gonzalez believes Arch will bounce back, but yesterday was his front page performance for his claim to the Heisman. He flopped big time and won't win the Heisman Trophy. I thought Norris, from South Carolina is a front runner myself. But Arch, don't count him out just yet. Danny Fuller is now on. Well, that's how we got there. I wonder what the Heisman comment was about. Now I know. So Danny's now the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman, a better chance than Arch. For the sports authorities, yes. Corso in college football is like peanut butter and jelly. Excellent, Flo. Great analogy. I love it. Love this quirky personality. One of a kind. I talked about this last week. The Mount Rushmore of, or maybe I talked about it on the college football huddle. The Mount Rushmore of college sports announcers, media. Lee Corso, Brent Musburger, Keith Jackson, and Vern Lundquist. Dino Cook could be up there. I won't argue with those four. It is one game. I hope LSU didn't hurt their chances of making the Popeye Challenge. Is it Popeye? You know, I laugh about that, John. It might very well be true. Popeye's Bahama Bowl. Yeah. Oh, God. I think I said LIU, sorry. LSU would actually be funnier. If we don't rack up key injuries, my Texas Tech Rangers will win big in the Big 12. Well, you spent $55 million, Flo. You better win. I have to laugh that people think that, you know, because of the House decision, the House settlement, nothing to do with the House of Representatives, by the way. It was this lawsuit against the University of Tennessee and the NCAA and all this money that had to be paid back retroactively to players in pay-for-play money. The NIL is going to go away, and going forward, each of these schools will have $20 million to spend on all their sports programs on pay-for-play. So the Red Raiders are going to just drop $35 million off their payroll this year. You think NIL's dead? You're wrong. They're already starting to negotiate how to make this work better. Because if you don't do it, it's just going back to under the table. I like the Red Raiders. Listen, the Big 12's wide open. K-State's not done yet. People writing them off right and left. They had a hangover from flying to Dublin, losing a disappointing opening game to Iowa State. They barely get by South Dakota, North Dakota State yesterday. Those teams can be tough. But they won. And if they lost, it wouldn't even affected their Big 12 chances. I think it's still wide open. Remember, and it got brought up on the and it might have been Michael that brought it up on the big football show this morning, that Arizona State was picked to finish dead last year in the Big 12, and they won. And I talked often in the last year that, or whatever, 7 months, that the Big 12 was kind of upside down. All the teams that were picked to win, Oklahoma State finished dead last, didn't win a game in the Big 12. Utah, disappointing. The teams picked to finish at the bottom. Arizona State, BYU did very well. It's a crazy league and a fun league. Biggest joke in college football, maybe UCLA. Bad loss yesterday, for sure, Michael, and sorry, Danny. Nico was terrible. They become horrible, 43-10 to a subpar Utah team. Sorry, brother. Listen, Utah's a well-coached team, Kyle Whittingham, and you can't lose 43-10. There was some thought. I thought Deshaun Foster might be turning this thing around a little bit. But I think they've been better off with Avila than Nico, quite frankly. I don't know where AC is today. Not sure. He might be blocked from Facebook. AC gets put in timeout from time to time. Because the Nazis at Facebook don't like First Amendment rights. There's enough Monday Night Football ads, and even the Pats are playing. Yes, they are. Oh, even if the Pats are playing, a reaction to Sunday's first half hour Monday Night Football would build your YouTube, except you could comment only through Northeast Streaming Sports. Interesting. Oh, I see what you're saying. If there's enough Monday Night Football ads, even if the Pats are playing, a reaction to Sunday first half Monday Night Football. Oh, I guess for both, right? TGI Sports Talk show would build your YouTube, except we could comment only through. Oh, I see. You wouldn't be able to comment on. So the problem we think is on the YouTube TGI Sports Talk page. I could go on live on my iPad, I suppose, and do some comments and reaction to first half of Monday Night Football. I don't watch. The problem is, well, not working now. That's something to consider, CA. You'd have to go on Northeast Streaming Sports to watch my. I don't know. YouTube. So I don't know if it's a YouTube problem, a StreamYard problem. I have no idea. I'm trying to figure it out. Always love and respect the people that serve our country. Thank you, Flo. 100%. Yep. Wow. Not sure, Paul. We've revamped. 2 guys left, and it's just me and you and Canteen, the OGs of the show. Trying to get it back up soon. Well, it's hard when you're, again, in a secret location and probably unsure what times you're available, and the time difference is probably a problem as well. But I look forward to you guys coming back because you do some good stuff. We'll have to collaborate and do some stuff, Flo. So do a Sunday recap, watch along during the start of Monday Night Football. Possibly. I don't want to do too much. Again, guys, it doesn't seem like a lot, but I do about 13 hours now a week with the shows I guest on and the shows that I do on my own. And I do want to stay married. But anything's possible. Ohio is good, but they aren't repeating as national champions. I don't think so either, by the way. I wasn't impressed. Salem played better, mistake-free football, right? I think he managed the game better, certainly better than Arch did yesterday. So I don't think. Listen, I've got Nebraska as my dark horse in the Big Ten, and I actually made a bet of plus 3,000. They're plus 3,000 to win the Big Ten. So I took a shot. Didn't look great the other night. Against who'd they play? I think I wrote it down, didn't I? Yeah. Oh, against Cincinnati, right? But they did get the victory. It's a game they would have lost a lot. And Matt Rule's teams are really, really good in his third year, so we'll see. I don't think Ohio State repeats. 47 million for Parsons. That's way too much. He isn't Lawrence Taylor. Yes, he's good, but that's way too much. That's a fair assessment, and you could say it's too much for everybody. Again, everybody knows my take on this, right? Will he earn $47 million a year? That's doubtful in my mind. Is he worth it? Yes, because somebody's willing to pay you. You're always worth whatever somebody's willing to pay you. That's your market value. I was worth. And some people, by the way, they earn the 47 million in his case, and some maybe are earning more than what their worth is. I didn't earn what I thought my worth was for many years. I was well taken care of at my company too. Very well. And there was times where I felt my earnings should have been more than what they valued my worth at. So those discussions would happen from time to time. We didn't have a contract though. So worst free agent signing of last winter has to be Frankie Montas. Well, you know what? If the Mets didn't watch Frankie Montas from the minute he got to New York with the Yankees, then shame on them. That was just stupid. Not even worst signing. It's a stupid signing. Besides, boy, Drew, I didn't just miss a couple. I missed like dozens. You're right. Only 4 missed games for Parsons. Thought it was more. A lot of people thought it was more, and I think they were all last year. Parsons is a really good player. Is he going to earn the $47 million that he's being paid? Depends. Is he the missing piece in Green Bay? I don't think so. I picked him to finish last in the North. But still make the playoffs, by the way. I think all 4 teams in that division can make the playoffs. Facts, but pay is off the roof. Listen, all the pay is crazy because he's the highest paid non-quarterback until the next guy signs. Somebody brought it up Friday. It'll be Hendrickson. No, not Hendrickson. Hendrickson's going to be 31 years old. He's not going to make that money. The guy from Detroit, the lineman. He's escaping me. But every day I see it. Somebody signs an extension. He's now the highest paid cornerback. He's the highest paid safety. He's the highest paid groundskeeper. He's the highest paid guy taking the air out of the footballs. Michael is 100% terrific. Writes some great stuff. So I might have missed John's answer to my question. Michael's a man. Good stuff. Michael and his amazing writing makes up for Paul's faults. Oh, Danny. You guys are like the movie Step Brothers. I swear to God. Michael's welcome to post his sports articles as long as they comply with our rules. No problem. And I'm going to leave that to you, John. So I'll share them from TGI Sports Talk. So we all get some play out of this, right? If that's fair. And then if you see some issues, you can certainly take it down. I don't think you will. I think Michael, from what I've seen, is not going to break any rules for sure. So thank you, John. And you're the admin, man. You're in charge of what goes up. And Michael said the same thing to me. I'm not in any way hindering his opinions, right? So just because I don't agree with him, I don't know you're not going to do that either, John. And that's all good stuff. No, there's really nothing questionable that I think we have to worry about there. Flo says, I'm glad you're looking. I'm glad you're all looking over us. Sorry. Michael played rogue out there, and even worse in the playoffs. He had only 1 sack in the playoffs, underperforming when we needed him. Similar to your quarterback, I guess, right? Big fan of Michael. Bruins were bad. Ended up listening to Ryan Leaf and his Washington State Cougars. Nice to see Ryan turn his life around. It is, Matt. I have seen him in a couple interviews in the last few years. And I think he's had some slip-ups during this, I guess, recovery stage of his life. But, man, there was a guy who was not very likable, not very talented, or talented and just wasted it. Can you imagine if the Colts had taken – how would history be different if Peyton Manning didn't end up with the Colts and Ryan Leaf did? Interesting. It is always good to see somebody turn their life around, though. You maximize quality over quantity with your hairstyle. That goes back to the comment I think about Arch's great hair. I don't know that this is any quality to my head or quality. I'm sorry, quality over quantity with your hairstyle. Thank you, Ciedo. I appreciate that. I appreciate that comment. Wild cards balance things out. This is where I think I finally. Yeah, this is where I finally. Now I got to go find out where I left off before. Now I got to go back and find out where I left off before. True. Gary Carter, Keynes, Michael. There it is. Right. I think you missed comments. Okay. Now we pick it back up where we left off. How far behind am I now? 9:55. Okay. We're still about the same amount of time behind. Guys, anybody out there? I see 40. Jesus. Huge amount of people watching us right now. Kim Carter's out there. Mark Vickers, Frank Laterzo. Guys, don't hesitate to comment. Please share the show. We're glad to see everybody. There's a lot of you. Listen, we get done viewing. And this is a really good crowd for the immediate moment, right? Usually we get done with the show on TGI Sports Talk. We'll have around 150 views during the show. My personal page could have anywhere from 50 to 150. And then it's the groups that watch it later that bring us up, into the thousands. So we really love that and thank all of them. Watch a clip of AP's son playing football. Watch out for him. We're talking about Adrian Peterson, I assume. Is it the kid that got hit with the switch, Rick? Maybe it didn't hurt him lasting, totally ruin his life. Keith is president of his HOA. No, I'm not. Nor will I ever be. Talent and Stankies over 25 years. Enough said. I don't know. Talent and the Stankies over 20. I think there's not enough said there because I'm not quite sure. Maybe because I moved off. Had to go back. Maybe I lost track of what we were talking about here. Danny Fuller would never throw sidearm. He's full over the top. It's okay. Micah Parsons can afford Starbucks. I can't. $10 a pop. What the hell is it? $4 isn't terrible. I think I pay that at Stewart Shops, I think, when I get it. And I don't often get coffee out anymore because the last 5 years of my career, I worked from home, except for maybe, I don't know, 20 days a year. There's a good one too. Lendl and McEnroe. I forgot about Lendl. Becker was another good one I liked. Agassi and Sampras were good, very good rivalries. I still go back to Connors. I love Jimmy Connors. Michael Ditton Edwards. I always want to put an L in your name, Michael. I don't know why. Facts, even at 65, it just hurts more. Danny's a 7-Eleven coffee guy. I'm a Stewart's, and I don't think we know Stewart's downstate there. Do you, John? I don't think you get Stewart's probably past Westchester County, I wouldn't think. Maybe you do. They're upstate into Vermont. This show deserves even more viewership. You are awesome, Keith. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Michael. We're working on viewership. We got to work on YouTube. YouTube is where I really need to, yes. Do I want to have, 10,000 views? Listen, we had 40,000 views to our shows the last 28 days. I was checking some of the insights. And Michael's articles are getting 1,000 views. Great job. Sure. Would I like to do Joe Rogan numbers? Absolutely. But I like to get more than a 12-cent check from Google. I'm sorry, from Facebook at the end of the month. Sure. Oh. It's actually about 4 cents a week I'm getting, and I don't think I'm going to be including it in my income tax. So actually, if the government takes me away, it's because I didn't pay tax on the $1.87 I made from Facebook last year. Go Canes is right, CA. Like the Canes tonight. Listen, Marco Cristobal is going to be in, just to go back here. This is a big game. I think it's a bigger game, actually, for Notre Dame. But I think Marco Cristobal needs to win this game as well. He needs a signature. He doesn't have a signature win that I can think of since he's been back in Miami. Had a great year last year. Pissed it all away, excuse my French again, in Syracuse, a game I was at. My wife is not going to be allowed to go to any games anymore. Any game she attends in person, they lose. Well, we're going to Yankees this Saturday, so Yankees can be counted on the lose. But where was I getting? Oh, it might be a better game for Notre Dame. Remember, Notre Dame doesn't have a league to get in through. So these big games for them really mean a lot. The really top caliber matchups mean a lot. And you got to make up for the Stanford and the Purdue's and the weak links on their schedule. Although I think their schedule is better than you think this year. I think USC will be better than you think. Navy's going to be better than they normally are. Navy might have a shot at Notre Dame this year. We'll see how they are. I'll make a different prediction maybe the day of the game. Navy's going to be really good. Hartstein's a really good quarterback. Purist. Okay, you didn't call me a Puritan, did you? Yes, maybe it does. Again, not being the not being the smartest guy in the room with my Perth education. And Puritan may not have the context that I think it does, or connotation that I think it does, but I think it does. Home coffee, first cheapest coffee, second. Yes, 7-Eleven works. I don't even know what brand I buy for the Keurig anymore. It's really good, actually. I get it off of Amazon. It's I know it if the box is like way over there. But Stewart's is my go-to when I'm out. Plus, there's one on every street corner, so you can't miss them. It'll be hard to repeat as the itch with Florida State growing a set. I have to tell you something about that. I know what you're talking about. For them to go for it on 4th and 1 at their own 34, 35-yard line, whatever it was, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was like 5 or 6 minutes left in this game. If he doesn't get that first down, I don't think it's the right call, by the way. It would have been, in Alabama territory or near midfield, I think. Because if he doesn't get that, he's an idiot. And it's hard to say for it to be the right call, it's got to be the right call whether he gets it or whether he doesn't. That's why I don't think it's necessarily the right call. I watched Bill Belichick do this against Indianapolis on a Sunday Night Football game years and years ago. Actually, it wasn't 4th and 1. It was even more than that. I saw some people crediting Gus Malzahn for that. By the way, he's not making that call. He might make the play call. He's not making a call to go for it. That's Norvell. And yes, show some gumption. But again, I guarantee you he gets killed. And please, Rick, make sure next time he does that, you're not killing him. Because I think it was a horrible call. He got away with it. But that team, again, I like Mike Norvell. But to be clear, you guys know how I felt about them getting screwed out of the playoff 2 years ago. And I'm not going to revisit the whole other thing you want to go to, Mr. Hitch. But they should have been given a chance to play for the national championship undefeated in the power conference. It's ridiculous. Padres and Phillies will battle to represent the NL, just in my opinion. Off your Dodgers. So you're off the Dodger bandwagon altogether here? You're still rooting for them, I assume. I mean, I get myself jumping off the Yankee bandwagon, but, you know, you're jumping off a team with a $7 million payroll. $700 million. What did I say? That was stupid. It's not $700 million either. Listen, I think the National League is wide open. I think the American League is wide open for different reasons. I think there's a deeper set of quality teams in the National League than the American League. But I think both leagues are kind of wide open come playoff time. So is that an argument to have a bunch of wild cards? I guess. I'm not sitting here consciously trying to make an argument for it, though. I can tell you that. Dodgers, if healthy, are the team in Michael's opinion. There you go, Danny. I still like the Dodgers. Again, I'm a big fan. You're the champions until somebody beats you. And I'm not writing them off. And Milwaukee, they've leveled off a little bit. You gotta make something happen in the playoffs to really be considered a good team. You can make the playoffs year after year like the Yankees have, except for 1 year recently. That means you're a great team. You get the one World Series in the last 17 years? I don't think so. Stand corrected, my iced coffee was not plain. 80 cents for sugar-free vanilla shot. I don't go to Starbucks. I don't like Starbucks coffee, and I wouldn't pay the prices, I don't think. And I'm not a guy who even looks at prices, quite frankly. I hear people bitch and moan about going out to dinner and how much it costs. Well, don't go home. Stay home. These places are in business to make money. Constantly. Everybody in my life, I swear to God, is complaining. Oh, my God, look at how much this is. I'm not going to sit there and have dinner if you're going to sit there and complain about how much stuff is. How about you just stay home and don't ask me if I want to go to dinner? And that's not any of my friends, by the way, that I have dinner with. But there are people that I've gotten together with, right? Work, this, that, the other thing, whatever. And I hear people complain, or just after the fact, we're out to dinner last night. You can't believe the price of beef. Well, then don't order beef or stay home. Jeez. Coffee's coffee, whatever. I make my own. 40 cents a cup. 40 cents a cup. Not including the coffee, Nate. Milwaukee will falter in the playoffs again. I see Seattle as a threat. I like Seattle a lot, John. I've talked about that pretty much all season. They've kind of had some ups and downs, not as bad as the Rangers, right? But I love their pitching. Their offense is much, much better than it's been the last couple of years. It's caught up with the pitching. The pitching wasn't as good as it's been the last couple of years. It's starting to get there. They're getting healthy. Hell, Woo's their fourth, fifth starter. He's the best. He'd be the second starter on most teams. A lot of teams. Maybe not most. A lot. Again, no time constraints. Is he 100 today? Are we sure? Because I've been seeing happy birthday to freaking Dick Van Dyke every day for a year. I'm going to fact check you here, CA. You're usually pretty good, though. Hang on a second. Also got a text. Dick Van Dyke. Is his birthday today? No, his birthday's December 13th. You got to stay off of freaking social media. I swear to God. I've been seeing happy birthday to Dick Van Dyke for about 6 months. His birthday is December 13th, 1925. Sorry, CA. Dick, hang in there, buddy. Dick Van Dyke's an amazing, though. The Reds have dumped on them the last 4 years, definitely underachievers. I mean, you could say, one of the excuses for a bunch of years was they were young. Well, they're not that young anymore. All these guys have been in the majors for a while. Most of these guys. Even Dela Cruz, he's basically got 2 years in the majors. That's time enough. I thought Terry Francona would be the guy that put them over the top. But not. But not so much. Always underachieving, it seems. Oh, jeez. Anyway, where was I? I had to check something. It was just my massage therapist that was messaging me. So, roll Tide, roll. Never, not this year. I still listen. Kalen DeBoer is going to get a lot of heat. He brought back his offensive coordinator they had at Washington. Following the guy, being the guy that follows the guy, is not easy. Same thing happened at Alabama when Bear Bryant left. Said this over and over on the show. Guy after guy after guy after guy failed in comparison, relatively speaking. Gene Stallings had a decent run. He really failed other than 1 year where they got really good and won a national championship. But pretty much guy after guy after guy after guy failed until they got to Nick Saban, who did basically the same thing or better because he's the GOAT, Nick Saban, in my mind. It's hard to be that guy. And sometimes it's the guy after the guy that really makes it go. Kalen DeBoer's in a tough spot. I don't think he's done yet. I think he's a really good coach. I wasn't crazy about some of his demeanor on the sideline yesterday. His body language wasn't great yesterday either. We're talking about, Arch Manning and some of his issues under duress, and the body language out of Kalen DeBoer yesterday did not like. But I think this team will bounce back. If Ty Simpson, if he's their best quarterback, this team could be in trouble. He gets out of trouble, but he can't throw on the run. His accuracy is terrible. His decision-making isn't great. I don't know what's going on in the fourth quarter. They were driving in the fourth quarter, and he's on the run again. He's had 10 yards up in front of him, and the first down marker was at about 5 yards of that total. And he pulls up and throws the ball and throws it inaccurately, and they turn the ball over. We're going long today. Well, we'll go to 11 anyway. So keep in mind, with the 9 o'clock start, guys, I don't know what our end time is going to be yet. Next week, we're probably going to get done at 10:30 so I can kind of feel out my Sunday after the show. And then we'll see what we have to do. I love this show, though. I want to go two full hours because again, we have trouble sometimes getting through all the comments in 2 hours, which we're approaching. Cigar box. The cigar box funds carry over from year to year. No, they do not. So what happens is, Rick, if there's which there almost always is, if there's a surplus, that goes out as a dividend to everybody in the cigar box. So there's, 35 guys. I don't know what there is now. If you made money, you get that much more. It gets divided evenly, right? 35 divided, say it's whatever, say it's $3,500 to make it easy. There's $100 dividend. The guys who won money get $100 extra. The guys who lost money would pay $100 less than they owed, which is kind of cool. So, so that's how that works. And if it loses money, I don't know what happens to losing money because I don't think it's lost money ever. So I guess we'd have to pay. We'd have that much money taken off our winnings, or you'd have to pay that much more if you lost, I guess. I don't really know. I tried telling Paul Spot that the Utah bet was the best of the night, as was a Ohio State parlay. See, I can't bet against my team. For all you Canadian football junkies, there's a lot of them here too, Mr. Ontario. Tomorrow is a Labor Day Classic. Toronto Argonauts and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Well, where are we? Aren't we getting close to like the championship game? It's in the CFL, Chris? By the way, never got a return message, call, or anything from your guy in Canada. And I don't know what we're going to do with the interview show, guys. I still haven't decided. Rick, Chris, I know you guys really want me to get back doing it. I enjoy doing it. I don't know yet that I want to dive back into that. My guess is going to be once I start to settle into my new routines, because I'm a guy who needs a routine, right? Once I get settled into my new reality, I'm guessing that I'm going to have time I want to fill, and it's going to be chasing guys down for interviews. So that's where we stand on the interview show, and it probably won't be on a certain time every day. I'll if I go back to it, I'm not doing a weekly one. I'm probably going to just try to get guys to do it. I'll do the interviews, probably without comments, live comments. I'll post it, and you guys can send me questions. I'm not sure. We'll see. I'm still up in the air on that, but I'm not going to lock myself into one day or time or the interviewees. I would do them and then, air them as whatever special programming, if you will. We'll see. I don't know yet. John Gonzalez love when Bama gets rocked. A lot of people do. Everybody, there's always teams we hate. Home plate umpiring has been under the microscope of late. By the way, a female umpire is back in the majors this weekend. She'll be behind the plate today, I think. Jen Paul will be back behind the plate. I can't remember what series she's doing, but she'll be back behind the plate. Chris F. Gray, I agree with Chris here. I know Danny's going to disagree. He'll still take a call foot outside the plate over a robot umpire. 100% agree with you, Chris. Thank you. Dave Gayette, good morning up in Amsterdam. Sorry your Orangemen got crushed in Atlanta yesterday by Tennessee. It's going to be a tough year for Syracuse. Fran Brown's a really good coach. Has done a great job turning around the culture up there. But they lost a lot of talent over this year, especially on offense. Their defense already was suspect and is probably worse. Maybe they start to come around midseason. I'm not a big Steve Angeli fan. He was at Notre Dame before he transferred to Syracuse. He's now the quarterback. I'm just not so sure that this team might gel later, make a bowl game, but it's not going to be as good a football team as last year. Excellent. Thank you, Drew, for bringing that up. I had it down here in my NFL notes and my college football notes. Former Alabama and Cowboy great Leroy Jordan passed away here a couple of days ago. I think he was 84 or 85 years old. Our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family and friends. Not to him. Well, I guess they go out to him. He was a really good football player in college and a very good football player of that doomsday defense. And I found out something today I didn't know. Not only is he the only player to win a Super Bowl MVP on a losing team, I think that was Super Bowl 5, if I remember. He also was the first player to have his number go in the Ring of Honor for the Cowboys. Jack Hirsch supplied that information today. Jabril Peppers gone for the Pats. Mike Vrabel has cleaned house of some interesting guys. Cole Strange got cut. They admitted that, well, this is a new staff, so they're not admitting a mistake. They're acknowledging a mistake was made, making him a first-round draft pick. He got cut. Kendrick Bourne got cut. I don't think they re-signed any of those guys. Jabril Peppers, I'm a little surprised at because he had a decent camp and it looked like he was going to be a starter. They've been trying to move Duggars. I love Duggars. Vrabel, not a fan of his game, and this team is going to be built in the image of Mike Vrabel. And Jack brought up this morning, and we'll talk about it tomorrow because I'm not sure. I'd like to know where he gets this from. He's talking about there's all this dissension up in New England. There's no dissension. If he's talking about some of the clips you see of Mike Vrabel sparring with the press, well, that's Mike Vrabel. It's a little more fun than Bill Belichick. And the only dissension that I'm aware of is some concern or some discussion about whether Stephon Diggs is going to be ready to play week 1. He says he's not sure. The team says they're pretty sure he'll be ready. And they're not happy with him saying he won't be. Okay, is that dissension? I don't get it. Yes, rankings are a joke, no question. Article about that. Sure, preseason rankings. Maybe you want to wait one more week, Michael, until maybe there's a few more upsets. But whenever. I think that makes a great article. I still owe you a quote. I got to get you some quotes. I'll do it this week, I promise. About fake, not conspiracies, but ridiculous, not conspiracy theories. What are we talking about? Oh, cheating scandals. Right. I think that's what it was. Make sure I'm right. I test which college football team was most impressive on week 1. Or heck, what team was the worst? Well, I'm going to have to say Alabama would give me the worst. It's hard to because I've got to look at the games that really have some decent matchups, right? Because, I mean, am I really going to be impressed with Georgia whipping Marshall or Penn State whipping whoever the hell they played? So if you're going to put a gun to my head and you're going to make me give you the most impressive, how about Illinois, 52-3 over Western Illinois? That's an impressive win. Kansas. Oh, Auburn over Baylor. Jackson Arnold played a nice game. 137 yards rushing. Where are you, Mr. Oklahoma? Allen, where are you at? So, again, and I like just Florida State, again, impressive win. Am I impressed by the team so much? I don't know. Ohio State's defense, very impressed with Ohio State's defense, and Matt Patricia taking over there after Jim Knowles leaves to be the most expensive coordinator in the history of football. It's a couple of teams. Most disappointing, I'm going to leave on Alabama and Arch Manning and Texas. Maybe a tie. LSU's not bad either. UCLA worst. I think I'll still keep with Alabama. I mentioned this at the top. Adam Thielen took $2 million less in salary in the removal of $4 million incentives to be traded back to the Vikings. This was after the Panthers gave him a $1.5 million raise in the offseason. I think Adam Thielen's best days are behind him. But common theme here, UCLA, the worst. I got to get through the rest of these. I got to start hammering these comments, guys. So I'm going to go much faster. Oh, shit. Well, there you go. I just lost everything. Here we go. I think I'm caught back up. There we go. Worst UCLA, best FSU. Would like to see a show hosted by Paul and Danny. Can TJ? Yeah, sure. I mean, I can give them a platform. I think I can share some StreamYard capabilities that they could use. If they want to start a show, they can certainly do that. We'll even brand it TGI Sports Talk if you're going to use my facilities. That's up for them to decide, though, Michael. I'd be happy to work with them to make that happen in my retirement. Jose and his brother Ozzy both put 10G on the table for one softball home run derby. Are they going to shoot up before the game, Chris? Danny's laughing at your proposal, so I'm guessing that's a no. Ironically, Parsons trade may help Dak, CC, and Pickens. They'll probably be playing from behind now. From a fantasy level, it might help them, yes. But I don't think this team's doing well. I think, again, Danny Fuller, to take this out of context, I picked the Cowboys to finish third and the Giants to finish fourth in that division. I would not be surprised if the Giants found a way to finish third. And I think Jackson Dart will be available sooner than later. Nebraska didn't look good at all against Cincinnati. He made some good throws. Raiola made some good throws. He made some bad throws. You got to remember, he's still it's in his second year. He was a true freshman last year, don't forget. So overrated. Again, I don't think anybody's putting him in the top 10 quarterbacks out there, Michael. So does he need to play better for this team to reach the heights I think they're going to reach this year? 100%. But again, you get out of week one with a win and don't have some horrible loss. Cincinnati's better than I thought they would be, and their team with their coach under fire and Scott Satterfield as well. So, again, you have a great day, Paul. I'm going to be running myself soon. Agree. They were impressive. I'm not saying I was impressed. All I'm saying is you get by week one without a disaster, you should be happy. They got to play better than that, again, to reach the heights that I think they'll reach this year. We'll see. Jerry Jones, owner, GM, 2 hats, no head. Great point, Drew. This team will never win until they have a real organizational chart. That's why the Patriots were so good for 20 years. That's why other organizations are really good. The Chiefs, there's a hierarchy going from the coach and the owner's not the guy making the decisions. Bob Kraft and I can't think of Hunt's first name now. Lamar Hunt's son, maybe it's Lamar Hunt Jr. I don't know. They're not making decisions. Yeah, they'll make decisions about money and whatnot we're going to spend, but they're not picking the freaking. They're not picking out the stakes. Dark horse team that shined. I like South Florida a lot. I talked about. I guess we'll go a couple minutes long because I got nothing to do right now. I can't go long on Sundays anymore after today. Keep that in mind, guys. Hutchinson, by the way, is a guy I was thinking of. Thank you, Michael. Dark horse has shined over the weekend. South Florida. I said that this game, Rick somehow had me loving Boise State. I don't think Boise State's nearly as good as they were last year. I said they might win the Mountain West in their last year there. This wasn't a Mountain West game. They very well may win. South Florida could be a dark horse in the American Conference. If that's the case, these two teams could be vying for that group of 5 playoff spot. This would be literally the tiebreaker probably if that came down to those two teams winning their league and they were the 2 highest rated group of 5 teams. I think you would see this game really make a difference. The South Florida played well. Great prompt of thought. Butterfly effect. If the Colts choose Leaf, interesting. Article. Hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Please, everybody hit that like button. And follow the show if you're not. Mike Tipton, good to see you this morning, Tip. Happy birthday to your boy. Time to take the wife to lunch. Appreciate you. We're going out for some Mexican later. Appreciate you as well, by the way. Appreciate everyone in the group. Peace all. Cal Raleigh, your judge for MVP. Listen, this last month might decide that, Matt. Raleigh's had a great season. It's hard not to. I think they're the top two candidates for sure. If Judge has a big September, and the Yankees win the division, well, then I think it's Judge. Same way with Cal Raleigh, though. He's already hit 4. I mean, he's got a shot to get to 50 home runs. He's already got the catcher record, and he's going to obliterate it. If he doesn't fade in September, which he's a catcher, this could happen. I think it's neck and neck right now. Let's talk in 2 weeks. Great. Fantasy baseball update. Rick and I are on a knockdown drag out. Rick winning 10-9. Keith winning 13-7 over the number one team. You're welcome. Yeah, I don't think I got time to get to fourth place. Unless you're spiking it with Zambuca or Irish whiskey. I made it more expensive. Wife caught on to one of those fake birthday pages, but yes, he's 99. I know, right? You got to watch it. I mean, two guys I see all the time. Happy birthday, Neil Diamond. Happy birthday to Dick Van Dyke. Every single day on Facebook. Every day. You got to fact check everything you see on social media. UCLA still looking for the next John Wooden. Well, he didn't coach football, did he? Maybe they should dig him up and let him coach football. God broke his mold after his birth. Move on. I agree. His pyramid for success is something I had up on the wall in my car when I was working on the road. I had it on the wall of my office. I had it everywhere because the pyramid of success that he had for his basketball team works in life the same way. I would recommend everybody who's starting out in life today in a career. Young kids could use this. I'm completely off the Alabama train. I see 7-5 coming if this continues, possibly. Chris F. Grave, don't forget me on the link for the game. Okay. I say interview with Rick Sherlock, John Gonzalez, Chris F. Grave would be classic. Maybe we should. Listen. Remember, Danny, we've had the show where I opened up the lines for guys to jump in. I begged Rick to jump in and John to jump in. Chris, too. Chris might have come on. I think Chris did come on one day when I did that. I would have a round table with these guys. Maybe do a special, the world of sports, Everything in the world of sports special have a round table. You are included, Danny. John, Chris, Michael. Nobody's going to get a word in edgewise. Randy Moffat, another good one, Danny. Randy Moffat passed away this past week. Certainly a decent relief pitcher back in the 70s, maybe early 80s, with the Giants in Toronto that I know of. And the brother of Billie Jean King passed away. So he is probably a brother, sister Goats. That's a good call. And our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends as well. Interesting note on Facebook comments. I can't see John's, Michael's, and several others, even though they're on Facebook. But I can see Chris's, Paul's, and I think it depends because I think they're some are on my personal page, some are on my professional page. So I think when you're on Facebook, you don't see them come up if you're not on the same source. True, I think. If you're all on the same source, I have no explanation. The problem that we've had is the ones with YouTube. Michael Gott over in the UK has not been able to they just disappear on them. It isn't even that they don't show up here, at least the way he's explaining it to me, is that he puts them in, hits it, and then they disappear. So I'm trying to figure it out for him. Going over my pick'ems? What do you mean? We don't have any football, or I went over my college picks on the other show. I'll tell you who they were: Texas, Tulane, Clemson, Utah State, Fresno, Arizona, Georgia State, Utah, and South Carolina, and Miami. I'll do my pro. I'm going to take the Eagles, I can tell you, on Thursday night. But I'll do my other picks next week for the NFL. Guys, I'll share both again. You can still get into college. You're going to start a week behind, but I'll share. I think we're up to 13, and I don't know what we're up to on. I really got to wrap this show up. My wife's probably getting nervous now that I'm going to 11. We only got 10, it looks like, in the NFL. So let me share this one more time. If you guys are still here, I see a bunch of people still watching. Guys, get in and please put a name in for your TGI Sports Talk username, so you're not just some generic ESPN thing. Jeez, very hard to tell. Fordham 6, Pacific 2 in water polo. Hey, Chris and CA, I think, are having a race now for the for outside the box sports. Wait, water polo. Oh, God. I have to go to my grandsons. Have a great week, Drew. We're going to be wrapping it up here. That's the last comment I can see. We'll try to fix everything, guys. Next week, we'll probably sign off at 10:30, but we are live at 9 a.m. And we hope everybody has a great, great week. And we will catch you tomorrow morning on Jack and Keith's Weekend Playbook. James J. Train Martin will join us tomorrow morning as a co-host, and we'll see you then. Until then, have a great, great Sunday, guys. Bye-bye.